Hey YouTube, welcome to the Subprime to Prime YouTube channel. Here, our focus is to get you from subprime to prime. And today, we're going to be talking about credit unions and how they can be an asset to your overall financial picture. So, one caveat to credit unions, if you're going to attempt to apply to get into some credit unions, some do a hard pull for entry into that particular credit union, and some are geo-restrictive. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check to see if your state qualifies for any given credit union when you're going for applications, and also always ask if they do a hard pull for membership. So let's get right to it. Okay, so some of the reasons that you might want to consider a credit union. Firstly, lower interest rates. Typically, the big banks don't always have the best interest rates for, different lending products, say personal loans, auto loans, and, different things like that. And credit unions tend to have lower interest rates on loans, and they're a bit more lenient sometimes on what your credit profile looks like. Not too much. I'm not saying that, all of them will just give anybody credit, but sometimes they can be a little bit more lenient than others. And then their member-centric approach. When you are a member of a credit union, credit unions are typically owned by its members. So, in essence, when you join a credit union, you are a part of that credit union community. So they tend to be a little bit more customer service oriented and things like that. And they do provide a lot of personalized service for the different things that you may, need going forward when you're a member. And then a lot of them, because they're organizations or .orgs or whatnot, they have access to a lot of financial education, not specifically because of that reason, but they do offer a lot of, helpful tips on how to, make your membership easier and get the most out of any of their given products. And then typically a lot of them have what they call credit builder loans, where you can secure the loan with your personal money, and then have that, take out the loan and you'll be able to pay it back. And it's secured by your own money, so that in the event of a default, they have collateral to pay back that loan. But it's typically meant for you to have a good payment history, which is always great. Like I say, you always want to look your very best when you're going for any kind of financial product. And some of these credit unions will help you when other, larger banks or local banks won't. So that's also a really great benefit to opening a credit union account. And another point to make, that they're really community focused. So you have, local credit unions, and then you have like some of these larger credit unions, like I've mentioned before, like Navy Fed and PenFed, and some of those larger credit unions. Well, some of them, maybe they have about $1 billion or so in assets, and they're a little bit more localized to you, and so they focus on the community and, doing things that help out in the areas that they are actually in. And that's a good thing. You always want like a small backyard, a hometown bank or credit union, because they're a little bit more forgiving of, when you're coming up on your financial journey, rather than, just straight shutdown like some of the big banks. And then they charge fewer fees. That's like one of the best reasons. Fewer fees. There's not a lot of hidden fees with a financial or with a credit union, because what you see is kind of what you get. And they are, most of the time, they're very upfront about what they're charging, so you don't see any hidden back end fees and things like that. So that's another great reason to venture into a credit union. And member loyalty. With credit unions, their members make up their business, so it behooves them to treat all of you like, sort of like family, where You're going to have the ability to get that good customer service, which, everybody should be having good customer service, but that's not always the case in larger branches or banks or institutions like that. And then some credit unions offer partnerships where if you are in, say, Washington, you have different credit unions where you can still utilize their ATMs or go in branch to still get some of the same things done, and they're totally different credit union, but they have all of these like co-ops and things like that where they can still help the members even though they're from a different credit union. They have a co-op with them so you can still get your financial needs taken care of. And then overall, credit unions are, again, a great source for auto loans and personal loans because typically the credit scores don't have to be like extremely through the roof and extra high. Sometimes they'll work with you depending on what your income is, and the things that you bring to the table. They're a little bit more understanding of those aspects. Meanwhile, on the flip side of the house, when you try to go through bigger banks to get some of these financial products, you're usually met with a ton of opposition because, overall, they're not willing to take the same risk that a credit union would normally have the ability to. So, that's another thing to look at when you're, trying to figure out where you're going to do your banking business. So I say if you can get a credit union under your belt or a few, one of the really great ways to be able to get into these credit unions is through an organization called the American Consumer Council. And they are just a nonprofit organization that are attached to a bunch of different credit unions throughout the country. And for membership, some of them have, school and work affiliations and things that you may not have any affiliation or ever heard of at all. And the American Consumer Council is one of those organizations that is a way in when you don't work near or have a branch local to you. And then a lot of these credit unions can open accounts online. They just need the identity information and address and all that stuff and all the pertinent things that you need to normally open up an account. So that's also really super convenient, especially if you don't have one in your area. And then, for some reason, credit unions are super nice with, or generous, I should say, with credit cards. Credit cards is a huge reason why a lot of people join various credit unions because some of them really give out high limits. And as your credit increases and as your ability to pay and all of those things on your financial picture look really great, credit unions can be an awesome tool to supercharge your financial journey. So if you like the information you saw, please like and subscribe, and stop by our school site on the school platform, Subprime to Prime, where we go in depth to all things financial literacy to help you go from subprime to prime. Okay, until next time, thanks so much. Have a good one.